You ever felt tired of life, even though nothing is actually wrong? You wake up, you go through the day, you do what you're supposed to do, but somehow you feel empty, unmotivated, or stuck. What if it's not one big mistake? What if it's small habits, quietly ruining your life without you noticing? A lot of people think something is wrong with them. They think they're lazy. They think they lack discipline. They think they're behind in life. But most of the time, that's not true. Most people aren't failing because they're weak. They're exhausted because of habits they repeat every single day, habits that slowly drain their energy, confidence, and clarity. The scary part is this. These habits don't feel dangerous. They feel normal. They feel comfortable. They feel like just how life is. So no alarm goes off. No warning sign appears. Life just slowly starts to feel heavier. Bad habits don't usually destroy your life in dramatic ways. They don't scream. They don't crash. They whisper. They slowly take a little bit of your energy each day, a little bit of your attention, a little bit of your self-belief. At first, you don't notice anything, but weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. And one day you wake up feeling lost, without knowing exactly how you got there. Let's talk about those habits, not to judge, not to scare you, just to help you notice. For many people, this habit begins before they even leave bed. You wake up, you reach for your phone, just 5 minutes. You check messages, you scroll social media, you read news, you watch short videos. Suddenly, 20 or 30 minutes are gone. But the real damage isn't time, it's your mind. Before your day begins, your brain is already flooded with information. Other people's lives, other people's problems, other people's opinions. Your brain starts the day reacting instead of choosing. Instead of asking, what do I want to do today? Your mind is already tired. Over time, this habit trains your brain to seek stimulation before purpose, and that quietly kills motivation. This habit sounds harmless. You tell yourself, I'll start when I feel motivated. I'll do it when I feel ready. I just need the right mood. But motivation rarely works that way. Motivation usually comes after you start, not before. When you wait, days pass. When days pass, guilt grows. When guilt grows, starting feels even harder. So you wait more. This creates a loop. No action to no motivation to more waiting. Over time, this habit trains your brain to avoid discomfort instead of building momentum. And slowly, you stop trusting yourself. Comparison is quiet but powerful. It happens when you scroll. It happens when you see someone your age doing better. It happens when you think, I should be further by now. The problem isn't inspiration. The problem is constant comparison without context. You compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight moments. You don't see their struggles. You don't see their doubts. You don't see their failures, but your brain treats it as reality. Over time, comparison quietly lowers your self-worth, not because you're doing badly, but because you forget how far you've already come. Waiting in line, phone out, eating alone, video playing, quiet room, music or noise. Silence feels uncomfortable, so we avoid it. But silence is where clarity lives. When every empty moment is filled, your mind never rests. Your thoughts never settle. Your direction never becomes clear. You stay busy but unfocused, occupied but unsure. This habit doesn't look harmful, but it slowly disconnects you from yourself. You feel slightly unhappy, but you ignore it. You feel tired, but you push through. You feel unfulfilled, but you say, it's fine. Small problems don't feel urgent, so they get ignored. But ignored problems don't disappear. They stack. A little stress becomes burnout. A little sadness becomes emptiness. A little avoidance becomes regret. This habit teaches you to disconnect from your own signals. And over time, you stop knowing what you actually need. You wake up. You do the same things. You go to sleep. Days blur together. You're busy, but not intentional. Autopilot feels safe. It requires no decisions. But over time, it slowly steals your sense of direction. You stop asking, is this how I want to live? Is this making me better or just comfortable? Life keeps moving, but you feel stuck. You make a mistake. You criticize yourself. You fall behind. You call yourself lazy. You struggle. You think something is wrong with you. This inner voice feels normal, even motivating. But constant self-criticism doesn't build discipline. It builds fear. Fear of starting. Fear of failing. Fear of trying. Over time, you lose confidence. Not because you can't improve, but because you don't feel safe trying. You watch. You scroll. You listen. But you rarely create. Consume all day. Go to sleep. Creation doesn't have to mean art or content. It can mean thinking, writing, learning, or building something small. When you only consume, your mind feels full, but empty. Creation gives meaning. Consumption without balance slowly drains it. You don't want to do it, but you agree. You feel tired, but you push yourself. You feel overwhelmed, but you don't speak up. At first, this feels polite, but over time, this habit teaches your mind that your needs don't matter. Resentment builds quietly, energy drains slowly. You end up tired without knowing why. This thought sneaks in quietly. I'm too old. I missed my chance. It's too late to change. This belief doesn't stop you instantly. It slowly kills hope. When you believe it's too late, effort feels pointless. And when effort feels pointless, nothing changes. But this belief is almost never true. It's just comfortable despair, disguised as realism. Your life isn't ruined by one big failure. It's shaped by small habits repeated without awareness. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to change overnight. You just need to notice. Awareness is powerful. Once you see a habit clearly, it loses some of its control. Take a moment. Which habit felt familiar? Which one made you pause? Not to judge yourself, not to feel guilty, just to notice. Because noticing is how change begins. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not behind. You are human, living in a world full of quiet habits that slowly shape your life. And now you're aware. If this video made you feel understood, take a moment to like it. Subscribe if you want more calm, honest conversations like this. And remember, small awareness today can quietly change your life tomorrow.